So one of the issues I see with most marketing managers or people that are responsible for marketing and they're building their plans, their strategies and all the fun stuff. And when it comes down to the executional level, I think what most companies forget is they're building their plans on things that might not be possible. And I see a big disconnect between what is possible from the platforms wise and what you want to achieve and how that content is going to be distributed. Because if I look at most companies, they think about it from a content strategy, like what content are we building, but they forget about how are we going to distribute this? How are we going to make sure that the right content is at the right person at the right time? So what I like to do, and this is actually shit I built for clients, but also for myself, to showcase what is possible. So whenever we're building a campaign, we try to think about, okay, which content, but also what is the possibility? What are targeting possibilities? So we work our way backwards. Most strategies and companies they think about what content do we have and how do we distribute it. But I like to also have a reverse look is, okay, we have our targeting possibilities, we have our company, and which ones are possible in order to run ads, basically. So this is why you have the sheet. In this sheet, you'll have the exact same overview of all the targeting possibility segments they are. So in the first one, which you can see on the left, is you can target on job experience. I think this one is the most used ones, I think, between LinkedIn ads marketers, which is the title, of course, the head of growth, CEO, anything like that. You can work on a function level, which is basically a marketing department, a sales department, those kind of stuff. And those are like the two most used ones. And that's a little bit the issue. And I'll explain that later down the course why that is an issue. But those ones are the two most used ones. But there's so much more good stuff on which you can further segment or actually also just dive deeper in. Now, you also have seniority, which is okay, you have your entry levels, senior, media, you have all those kind of stuff. You also have skills based. I think that one is very much overlooked on like how do we target based on skills, and you have your years of experience. Now, those ones are actually the most used ones. Now, what I'm trying to do with this template for you is one, you can send over this slide to any person within the organization saying, look, this is the targeting possibilities that there are on LinkedIn. And I'm going to give you a sheet that even goes deeper into these things so people can actually just segment on their own, like what are the targeting possibilities and make their own segmentation. But this gives them a high level view on what is possible. What is possible to target on LinkedIn? And there's just 5 big categories. One is the job experience. Then you have the company, of course, the category, the growth rate is something new from 2020. If a company is growing or actually even declining, if they're building down their or scaling down their company, that is also something that is possible. Of course, the company names, the most obvious ones. So that is the second one, companies. Then you have demography, member age, member gender. The educational part, if you have a certain degree, if you want to target high schoolers, people that are doing, a master's degrees. And then you have one of my favorites, which is also interest and traits. So there's a few interests that actually came in that are actually interesting to test with. For example, traits is one that has been recently added, which is, people that frequently travel. Because LinkedIn, you have it on your phone, so they know exactly where you're traveling towards. They kind of know who's traveling, which business person is traveling, which ones aren't. Very interesting ones. Frequent contributors, so people that post oftenly. So if you're trying to promote your course about LinkedIn content marketing, anything like that, you actually have an audience for that. Job seekers, people are looking for a job, and open to education. Some interesting traits and also interesting groups that you can target within your ads, basically. So these are the 5 main categories you can actually target. Going to deep dive into the sheet a little bit later, but these are the 5 big ones you can send along within your team or within your company to make sure that, hey, what are like the possibilities we can do, and then try to map that with the content you're going to build and make sure those are always aligned. So there you go, a big overview, and we're going to head over to a template that was built for you, just to really figure out, okay, we can go on company level, but like how deep can we go? Like what's interest can we really target? So let's dive into the template. See you guys.